If you haven't looked around, we're going through one of the most radical transformations that we will ever experience in our living history. And today I want to talk about force versus power. If we think about America specifically, America is not the place it used to be. It used to be the land of the free, the home of the brave. In God we trust. Now it's the land of entrapped, the land of lust, the land of greed, the land of fear and anger. And in this moment in time, in 2024, as we sit, we're going through a radical transformation in consciousness. So I want you to think about for just a moment the word force and the word power. Now, force keeps people in hyperactivity all the way down to inactivity. And power is the highest level of frequency that you can embody all the way to enlightenment. So if you think about America right now, what's happening specifically in America, we have a social geopolitical narrative, we have a climate change narrative, a financial narrative, and we have a war narrative happening right now, and it's specifically right in America. The left and right is completely divided. We have things going on in college campuses, which is causing anger, it's causing hate, it's causing complete chaos. That's called force. And when you can get a group or a population down into force, you create hyperactivity, which is a lower energy field. If you can get people so hyperactive, get them to point out each other's differences and get them to continue to fight against each other, you can move them any way you want. You get those people so hyperactive that they go down into inactivity, and from there, you can divide and conquer. But what if I told you there's a different way? It's called power. It's to have the courage right now, as you sit in 2024, to start to develop what's called the middle ground. It's going to the middle, as Jesus said. The middle ground is not left, it's not right, it understands reason. It thinks logically and it asks itself, why do I believe what I believe? Why are they telling me to look this way? And why is this group telling me to look this way? It's coming back to reason, and it's having enough courage to start to ask the question, why do you believe what you believe? And as you start to become accepting with reason, you start to see others as a mere reflection of you. And then when you start to see the mere reflection of you, does this sound familiar? And I'll talk about who this is and who taught this 2,000 years ago. Is when you start to see a mere reflection of other people, they're either going to reflect you or they're going to reject you. That's none of your business. So as you move from force, inactivity, hyperactivity, and have the courage to develop reason and take the middle ground, not left, not right, but understanding that all things are happening for you and not against you, and developing reason and seeing God in every other person, and you start to develop unconditional love, gratitude for the things that you have, and you start to operate in true authenticity, you can become an enlightened master here on earth. But if you say that, it's blasphemy. There's a reason why they tell you it's blasphemy. Because if you knew and you had the courage and the reason to understand that every single person that you're seeing today is made in the likeness and image of a higher power, which we call God, then they would lose all their power. Who are they? You've decided that. You've decided that. So it's time for Americans and people worldwide to wake up, to have the courage to take the middle ground, to understand that we are all made in the likeness and image, to understand that Jesus Christ, Yeshua, came back on a donkey after 18 years. And he wasn't in the churches. He went from village to village, moving from religion to relationships. He picked unlikely characters, just like you and I, and showed us not how great he was, but he showed us how great we are. That's where we're at right now. He told us about this time. He said a man with a pitcher would come, and there's a great awakening. I think you can all feel that. But the great awakening is not outside in, it's from within you. So the question I have for you, are you operating in jealousy, anger, fear, greed? Or are you going to have the courage to develop reason and ask yourself, why do you believe what you believe? From there, is look around and be logical and say, well, why would I hate on another human being when I have stuff to work on in myself? And you start to become accepting, not only of others, but also accepting of the flaws within you. And you start to develop unconditional love, knowing that all of us are made in the likeness and image. And from there, you operate from your true authenticity. And often they'll start to call you the fool, but you end up being grateful for all the things you have, and you get more of what you want. And when you realize you know nothing, you realize you've gained everything. So this is it, 2024, the greatest transformation in our living history. Will you be in force, or will you be empowered to transform your family's life for generations to come?